What's going on, guys? It is Kodiak here with,
Jugs Gaming.
also known as the Smidwinders, and I just bumped the mic.
That's a bad
But
idea.
we're here to tell you, first of all, that after this podcast, all the podcasts will be moved over to... I really gotta stop bumping this mic. Will be moved over to our second channel called the Smidwinders, where me and Jugs, and hopefully some of our other friends will post on there, and so yeah, we're gonna start posting on there a lot more.
And maybe even you guys can if you follow the steps to become part of the channel.
Yep. And so, as a theme with every podcast, we always start off with a real-world, serious topic and that's affecting us in any way, shape, or form. Just basically anything we feel need to talk about. And what is that?
Year-round schools and why we don't want them.
Alright, so for those of you that I don't know about overseas, what the real rule is, and so year-round school is where you're on school for 9 weeks, and then you're off for 2 weeks, and you're on for 9 weeks and off for 2 weeks. There's no summer break. There's no, like, spring break. I think the only big break you get is Christmas break, and that's like 2.5 weeks.
Wonderful.
So, and our school system is trying to push that, which we don't want that because I feel that it will just burn us out way too hard.
Plus, with people like in my situation where you have to fly for the breaks, it wouldn't work out because then who wants to fly out to a different state for 2 weeks and then have to come back? Like, it's not worth it.
Well, people fly out the States for like 2 days, but
Well, I mean,
in your given situation is that you go there for like a month and a half to visit your mom.
yeah, but
everybody
in the
else
summer,
will
it's
go-
like 5 weeks. Oh,
Everybody else
yeah,
will
I
go
think
for vacation. They go for 2 days and fly back.
so. Oh.
They'll go to Florida, go to Disney World.
I
or
thought
land.
more people like flew out for a while and then came back.
No one really does that. No one has the money to do that.
Oh.
Because not everybody does your situation and goes visit your mom.
Right, a lot of people
You have somewhere
actually
to
have parents in the same state, too.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when they leave, it's for vacation, and hotels are expensive.
Yeah.
Just,
Alright, so,
So, you wouldn't really have enough time to do anything fun, and basically, you would... I don't know how the grade situation would work. Is there, like, an extra week you get for, like, a summer break, I guess?
yeah, like you're in 8th grade going into 9th, it's the middle of summer, you should be on summer break, but you've got a year-round school, you come back from 2 weeks with, like, a whole bunch of new stuff, and you're like, wait a second, I have to fill up a new locker, I have to go to different classes and stuff like this, I only had 2 weeks to prepare for this.
You know, and, like, how would the yearbook situation work? You know,
Yeah, that
like,
would
what's the
suck.
point? You know, it feels like the year never ended.
You're gonna see them in a couple weeks anyway.
No. So yeah, year-round schools, in my opinion, are not good. I don't know why everybody else is against them. Pretty much, none of the parents really like them. But when they do these polls, it's basically what the school board thinks they can get the most money out of.
Right.
And year-round school it's like I think for schooling you don't pay for the school, you pay for the months in school. So, it's like our school is how long? Like 8 months.
Yeah, I think so.
8, 9 months. I'm gonna say 8. And so you're
It's
paying
like August to July, isn't it? Or June?
no to May.
May? Oh, yeah, that's right.
And basically it's like 8 months you pay for it, then you're gonna go. But then if it's year round, that's 12 months. You pay for 12 months because they can squeeze that extra little money out of you.
Right. I think one day every school is just going to become a boarding school at that point.
Yeah, I really do think that the government needs to give schooling more money, because that's why they're doing this crap, is so they can get more money,
Yeah, it's stupid.
because they don't have any money. Our school system literally is broke. They barely do anything, but our superintendent is making the money banks. So yeah, I don't know why.
buying TVs for the cafeteria
Yeah, why do we need TVs in the cafeteria to display morning announcements?
that no one looks at.
Yeah, it's like they expect us to know all this stuff, but the TVs are so small. I
And
mean,
they're so far away.
they're 72 inches, but they put them in the places where virtually, if you're not right under them, you can't see them.
Right.
And as big as this cafeteria is, 72 inches is really tiny.
And my table was the worst because we were all the way back by the...
Same here.
Yeah.
And
sucked.
Yeah, no one looked at them. They used to do morning announcements. Everybody loved that. You know, you got told everything.
Wednesdays we had like one of the meanest teachers that was actually liked a lot for some reason. He would do the announcements on Wednesday mornings, and that was fun.
Yeah. Mr. Quirtle.
Wordle.
Alright. Alright, get back on topic. So, basically, I want to know what your guys' opinion is on year-round school, and if you are in a year-round school, please tell us what is it like? Is it okay because you don't know any different, or is it like, you know, normal schooling is so much better?
And if you've gone to, like, if you've only gone to year-round schooling, like, always, then still tell us what it's like. But if you've been to, like, both, then we definitely want to hear your opinion. We want to know, like, which one you think is better, which one you like more and stuff.
Oh, and by the way, guys, I do have the proposition for you. If you ever want to be in one of these podcasts, let me know. Send me a personal message on Twitter. I'll give you my Skype account, and then when I have Jugs over at my house, because that's where we do the podcast, it's when he's over at my house, and that's why you don't see him pretty regularly, is we'll let you know, make sure it's a good time, and see if you can get on the podcast, and then you can contribute.
And a little update for my survivors, my subscribers, same thing. I am getting a PC coming soon, but it's a not exactly new laptop, but it should definitely run everything I want to do. It's just, it's taking a while to get to because we're moving and, like, a bunch of complications are coming up and, like, getting yelled at all the time because of the witch, and yeah.
Yeah, for my subscribers, if you don't know what the witch is, go ahead and check out Jugs Gaming, which is Jugs' channel, and you'll find out about his series, The Witch Weekly, where basically he talks about his stepmom and just his horror stories. Yeah, she could be a Halloween costume herself.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, that was kind of our real-world topic there, and so now we get into the more general topic that we usually talk about for a long time and just different stuff. So, what were those? You're supposed to remember this stuff.
Give me a second.
You're supposed to remember this stuff. Alright, so after pausing for a moment and thinking about what we were going to talk about...
I'm a retard.
We're still on real-world topic, and this is just kind of a fun little series we want to do. To my parents that might be watching this, I don't know if you decide if you want to watch however long this is going to be. This is not a shot at you. This is just telling funny stuff.
More of a shot at my parents.
Yeah, more of a shot at his parents. And basically, my parents are perfect. Seriously, I have, like, almost no complaints. Like, we're going to be talking about the good, bad, the ugly of parents and gaming. So, yeah, my parents are in the good, like freaking angels. They support me in my YouTube. My dad really wants me to be able to pursue this because this is my dream job. My mom doesn't really understand it, but she still is there to support me. So, basically, I have no complaints. The only complaint that I do have is that... I can't even think of one off the top of my head.
Alright, well, basically we're going to start out with the good, the bad, the hideous.
I thought we were going to go from... All right.
Ugly, hideous, same thing.
Alright. So, I'll let you start, because you're more in this... You are living that genre.
Alright, so the way I look at it, there can be two different kind of outputs on each, like, all three of these sections. There's either the good things parents do or the good parents. There's the bad things parents do or the bad parents, and then so on. So, I'm going to start out with, like, the good things some parents will do. And that's things like they'll actually have you pay for stuff on your own. Like, they don't just pay... They don't buy you stuff all the time for no reason. Like, have you ever had that feeling, or not feeling, have you ever had that experience while you were growing up and your parents they'd get you games and stuff like that, and you'd be like, wow, this is really cool, and then just one day it just stops? I wouldn't consider that really a good thing, because it takes a little while to get well adjusted to it. But I don't know about you, Kane, but like...
I did have that happen to me once when I was I think I was maybe like 6. This was back in like the PlayStation 2 days when the Xbox 360's PS3 was $500. Xbox 360 was right behind it with like 400. So, and I got a hand-me-down PlayStation 2, and so...
PlayStation 2s are still awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was perfectly happy. And then my parents just tell me, like, they're super serious, like, something bad has happened. I believe my grandma was in the hospital, for the many things that she's in the hospital all the time. So we didn't think much of it, you know, how serious it is. You know, we just thought we were going to the hospital to see my grandma because they had a little bit more of a serious tone. I was thinking, like, oh, what'd she do this time? What happened? You know, we're just going to go say hi, like, give her company. And then, me being a little kid, I don't really recognize the roads, and I'm pretty much virtually not even tall enough to see out the window to see the roads. And so, all of a sudden, I see this really bright light. And it's more of a locally owned store, but it's called Video Games, Etc. And we go there all the time. You know, I know that place at that point, how much we go there. Like, before my dad really started getting active and losing weight, which seriously, just wow. He was a huge dude. I mean,
A for effort.
If he ever lets me, I'll definitely show you guys just what willpower can do. And he used to be a huge gamer. He still is a huge gamer, but I mean, as the second he would walk into the door, all the guys there would be like, "Hey, Jake, what's going on?" You know, everybody knew him. That's how much he was there. And as he's just having a conversation, he was probably getting one of the newer games for himself. And I believe Gears 2 might have just came out.
Gears 2 was fun.
Or Gears 1, I can't remember. It was a Gears something, or maybe Halo 3. It was a new game. But he was doing his thing, and then he goes like, "Alright, have fun, pick out a game you want, we'll see how much it comes up to." And also back then, PlayStation 2 was a little bit still more expensive, because it's just like 360, you know. How 360 is now. I mean, the new consoles just launched, so, you know, they're out for like a year, but they're still pretty pricey on what games are. So, I got a couple games, and the one game I do remember that I got was Star Wars, not Battlefront. I can't remember what it was, but it was where you played as a third-person stormtrooper. And that was pretty much it. And you get to choose two sides before the stormtroopers went bad and after, pretty much. It was a really good game. It had a lot of stealth elements to it. I got stuck on one part because you had to get by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda, them walking in the streets, and you had to hide in a dumpster. And it was super hard to get really situated because it was a difficult game. It was, but I had the most fun in that game just because, you know, my parents bought it. But that was the last time they ever just took me to the game store and bought me something.
Right.
And that was a long time ago, like 8 years.
Like I said, it's really a good thing when parents get their kids started on buying things when they're younger. Like, my parents used to actually just buy me all the games I got, and then once I got money for Christmas or something, that was spent on toys and whatever, and, like, I didn't really buy games with my Christmas money because I wasn't really much of a gamer back then, but now it's like, I'm kind of glad that I bought very little stuff towards my gaming, because it made me realize, like, how do I say, kind of made me realize that things can be difficult, I guess you could say. So, one thing parents should do, in my opinion, is definitely, like, have their kids buy some stuff, but not everything. Just get them into it slowly.
Yeah, I mean, mine was just pretty abrupt, but, I used to bring it up a whole lot, actually, really hoping they would take me back just for 1 or 2 times, but I haven't asked recently. But I bought almost everything that is sitting on my desk right now by myself. I think the only thing I didn't buy was my desk itself and my TV, pretty much. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head and see that was not purchased with my own money. TV being a Christmas present, desk we built homemade. My dad did because I was sick.
Did you buy your bed?
No, the neighbors gave it to us.
Did you buy your chair?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I bought my chair.
Okay then. So, moving on to the bad. So, bad thing parents can do a lot is it's kind of like the opposite of good. They coddle their kids throughout life. Like, I've met people that are just spoiled brats.
So here, before you continue, let's split this into two sections. Right now we're in the bad parents section, and then we'll restart at the good, and then go to the good parents section. So that's kind of how we're going with this already.
Alright.
You know, because the bad parents can be good parents, but bad for gaming, but just bad parents, but good for gaming, though. So right now we're in the bad parents, but good for gaming, I guess? I don't know.
I don't know.
We're just in the bad
figure
parents
it
section.
out. Basically, like, they coddle their kids, and it's the same thing when you get a dog. Dog takes a piss in the house. You're just like, no, don't do that. Your parents go, he's just a puppy, it's nothing, blah, 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 blah. Dog grows up and is peeing all over the place now, and the parents are stressed out, yelling at you because the dogs are peeing everywhere, and it's your fault, quotes. I put quotes around that. You can write down what I said. So, yeah, it's the same thing as dogs. They coddle their kids, and then their kids grow up, they go out to apply for a job, and they don't get the job because they're spoiled brats and they don't understand how to do anything on their own. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people personally fall. Like, I've seen certain YouTubers that have basically just... They were in high school, and they never told you that everything was bought for them, but you can just tell because they're getting new stuff every 30 seconds. You know, every other video they're showing off their new item to their gaming setup, and then they're like, oh, 18, moving day. Oh, 2 months later, they're back at home. They couldn't afford the apartment, the internet bill. They wanted new games, so that's why they couldn't afford anything, because they bought the games instead.
Right.
It's just... Yeah.
Coddling. Bad.
Yeah, coddling
a little
is
bit,
good.
that's okay. But you don't want to just...
You only want to coddle in birthdays, pretty much holidays and birthdays.
Right. And then there's the whole Santa Claus and all that Easter egg... Or not Easter eggs. Why did I say Easter eggs? There's the whole Santa Claus situation and all that. You still want to coddle them when they're younger, because then they go to kindergarten. Hey guys, I believe in Santa Claus. I can't wait for Christmas time. And then your kid just comes up, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah. Nice.
Kid turns into a pimp.
With the golden chalice. Alright.
Sorry.
That was pretty gay. But, alright. Let's move on to the ugly. Again, I have, almost no say in this.
Right. So, the ugly, I'm pretty much just going to talk about The Witch with this one. The ugly is...
This is coming from his personal experience.
It's a mixture of the good and the bad. Think of buying a dog, like a basket full of bones, rawhides, dog toys and all that, putting it about 3 feet across the yard. And then you have one of these stakes that you hammer into the ground, and you have the leash connected to that, and the dog is hooked up, and it's just barely out of the dog's reach. Every now and then the parent will let the dog get at it, but then they'll pull the dog away, leave all the stuff there, and then just hook him back up. That's pretty much what it's like living with the witch, because I'll get to do all this stuff, and it's great, and it's fun for a while, and then just one day, out of the blue, just this weekend, just for the past couple of days, I was actually restricted to 1 day of gaming a week. A whole week, not even the weekends I get to game. Because apparently I was on it all day during the weekends. Well, when I can only play it every other day on the weekends, and I'm bored most of the time because, not a lot of people are on, of course I want to get on the weekends when a lot of people are on.
Yeah,
So,
nobody just wants to go upstairs and watch TV. That's one thing I do hate about parents. They just don't understand that gaming and TV, gaming's better for you than TV.
because at least you're active.
Oh, you're shooting people on these games, it's not good for you. TV's way better. Well, you can watch, seriously, you can play Call of Duty, which, seriously, you shoot the bad guy, you move on with your life. No one's gonna be, absolutely distraught. Or you can go watch Rambo 3, where you can literally watch him sneak up on this guy, instead of knifing his throat, just slitting it, which it's a pretty gory movie. just look up this scene where he grabs his throat and rips out his Adam's apple. Like, it's almost a minute and a half. You know, like, you can go out and watch a movie with sex. Like, full on, you know, almost, it needs to be just a porno at that point.
Right.
And then you got shooting, you know, way worse than some of these video games. Like, GTA looks like some tiny, like, marshmallow fight compared to some of these movies.
Right.
But everybody's like, oh, it's a video game, though. You know, it's teaching you stuff. Well, yes, I do have to say games have taught me stuff, but not in the bad way. Games have taught me
what not to do.
Yeah, what not to do, and most of my grammar I've learned from games. I've learned different words from games, because I've always played games that were way older than my intellect at the time.
Me too.
And that's how I learned pretty much all my new grammar, because I heard all these words I'd never heard before. I got downstairs and asked my mom, and she told me, and then I use most of those words to this day.
And another thing, like, two things, actually. One, at least you're doing something when you're up here. You're, like, keeping your hand-eye coordination up. Like, there are elderly people out there that they can't do two things at once because they have no hand-eye coordination. Or they've got arthritis because they haven't done anything with their hands that often. And, like, parents think that you're just lazy, ignorant slobs or something when you're up here. Like,
and don't get me wrong, there is those people that do fit the stereotype.
Right.
I mean,
but not everyone.
That's like 3 out of a million.
I went on an 1.5 hour walk. I did almost 5 kilometers the other day. And then, friggin', that's more than some gamers, like the hardcore gamers, do in a week. Like, seriously. But,
I do game a little more than I should, but truly, I wouldn't game as much if there was things to do. Our town is the most dull town. I mean, the most excitement that happens is 24/7, all of our cops go down to Buffalo Beach.
Woo!
Which is this town that they have a beach called Buffalo Beach. And basically, you got artards there that get pissed drunk, and then there's always an ambulance rushing down there, a fire truck, always to Buffalo. I mean, seriously, I live right next to the main street where it leads down there, and they'll just rush on down all the time. It's so annoying. You're trying to sleep, 1 o'clock in the morning, you'll hear sirens going down because they're going after them. Gosh.
And another thing with the whole gaming thing, like, alright, some people are gonna get possibly, like, angry by me saying this, but honestly, I don't care. Go ahead, blame me. But there are people out there talking about these school shootings and stuff, and believe me, I feel bad about it. I wish they hadn't happened. But then they look into the files, or they look into the details about this person. This person's, like, mentally not stable to play games like Call of Duty and GTA, but they're playing it. They're blaming it on the video games anyway.
Yeah, it's just like movies. I know you probably don't know a lot about this, but I do my research to some of these things. And before video games were big, when it was just like the Atari 2600, Mario games were virtually, games the consoles couldn't even produce blood, The most violent game was Mortal Kombat or in Street Fighter, and they weren't even out yet. Everybody, the whole media was bagging on movies. It was movies, because it was the new thing. I can't wait for something to replace gaming, which it probably won't, because this is the biggest thing.
It'll probably end up being like YouTube.
Oh yeah,
videos,
video sharing websites. They've done their fair share, but it's still gaming, because video sharing websites, one of the biggest things is gaming.
Right.
Well, and so they just basically, a famous YouTube saying on here on YouTube is he's doing it for clickbait. He's doing it for clicks, doing it for the views, and most of the people that watch the news now, because I get all my news from the internet, from reading up on things, from videos. And I know before you say it, not everything's true, don't believe everything that's on the internet, but still the internet's so big that it's becoming a reliable source. So everybody that watches the news are the old school guys that are like, oh, the internet is lies,
It's a conspiracy.
They only watch the news. So, and
you
the
think
news
that
says
can't become
all this.
corrupt?
Yeah, and the news says all this. And so that's what they think. You know, no, like they say social media is influencing the world in many different ways. Well, media, not even social media, just the media is influencing a different demographic, a not so big demographic anymore.
Right.
And so that's why they're doing all this clickbait, pretty much. That's what I'm going to call it, clickbait. Because all these news stories, you know, they're going to flare up the gamers, you know, the guys that want to defend themselves all the way down to the grave. And that brings them all these views, these ratings. Yeah, even though it might be a negative rating, a rating's still a rating in the
Right.
industry, you know. As long as you can earn a rating, you know, people actually had the time on their hands to actually do it. It's like leaving a hate comment, where basically, to me, when I get a hate comment, it's like, if you didn't like me, you obviously like me good enough to be able to take time out of your pointless life to write that stupid comment. It's like, oh, you're fat. Ha ha. Yeah, I have a big schlong. Ha ha ha. You know, just to do that. Seriously. It makes me laugh knowing that these people didn't just click off the video. No, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you don't like me. It's just, I care when you're so stupid that you show a little respect to me by actually leaving me feedback. You know, I'm all down for constructive criticism, but it's hilarious to see hate. Just click off the video. You don't have to stay. I'm not forcing you.
No one asked you to be here. No one
You
is talking
volunteered to
to
be
you
here.
like that.
Oh man, I kind of went on a tangent there, but seriously, it's this gaming stigma just needs to go.
Right.
And that's one thing, swerving back to our topic, and that's where most parents are still old school. You don't see a
Right.
whole lot of parents that will, like, our generation will probably be, I'm not going to boast here, but probably the best parents, because we grew up with all this new stuff coming out. We understand innovation, we understand progress, and we're easy adaptable, especially because we're young, but I'm sure that all this new stuff that's constantly coming out, everything's constantly changing. So we are probably going to be ready for when we're 50 and everything's still changing, when we have kids and everything, and they're, you know, we're not...
Cussing out my grandchildren.
Yeah.
Screw you!
I'm not going to try to be that one parent that's just constantly, oh, you can't do this because I can't understand it.
Like, the witch, she's old school as well. Because just the other
Very,
day...
I can just tell.
Just the other day, you know how I talked about the whole, like, got restricted for being on it all day? She was like, I used to spend all day outside. Well, you didn't have, like, 4 televisions in your house. You didn't have internet. You didn't have social media. You didn't have another way of communicating with your friends.
You didn't... Well, that's one thing I hate about I hate about some of these parents. My dad still, like, when it gets all hot and everything, my dad's like, oh, I grew up without AC my whole life. You know, I didn't have AC till I owned my own house. But the thing is, I grew up in it. I'm used to it. You aren't. You know, now it's a privilege to him for AC, but if we don't have AC on, like, an 104-degree day, it's pretty horrible. I mean, my room produces... I've actually clocked my computer. It runs on a normal basis on 150 degrees.
Well, that's kind of another thing, is like, a lot of parents don't understand that when you have a child, things are obviously going to change. And you can't just make him live like it's the 80s anymore. And, like, it's called total immersion. It's the same as when you're learning a language. If you stick yourself in the middle of a country with at least, like, one translator or something, you'll start to learn and become, like, knowing all this. So when you're born into a
It's kind
modern
of like
time,
when...
you'll learn.
It's kind of like when you go over to your friend's house and they're having all their... Like, let's say your friend lives in a complete other state, but you met each other... and you're good friends, but he moved, and so he has, like, it's his birthday party, and he has, like, a group of 8 friends that he knows from his school.
Right.
You don't know any of them. It's kind of like how you learn their names, and people get so creeped out about this, because, you know, you come up to them, they never introduce themselves, but yet you know their name, but it's like, I've been here for 20 minutes now, and you guys are referring to each other by your names, by your nicknames, so I know who you are. It's, you know, you just pick up on it.
Right. Like, my friend Albo, he was in a video. I still have to post it because I'm so fucking stupid. I keep forgetting to upload it.
Is it on your phone?
No, it's on my Xbox. It was it was kind of a rage rant about what we want and what we don't want with games coming out. But anyway, so he has this friend that goes to a school that he used to go to. Let's just call him Bobby. All right. So
Bobby.
So Albo introduced me to Bobby, and I'm basically Bobby, except at a different school now. So I'm one of Brandon's close friends.
It doesn't matter.
Nah, whatever. I'm one of Albo's close friends, and Bobby was one of Albo's close friends when he went to that other school. So now we're just kind of like, we're still buddies and stuff. We're all cool with each other. It was just awkward at first because it's like, so I'm his replacement, kind of. I'm around more often, but they still hang out, so.
Yeah. So, swerving back to the topic again.
Yeah, because we get off topic.
Oh, it's good. It makes the podcast longer and
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going in depth with that. That means it's good. This is an interesting topic that's keeping our interest.
I think the podcast is already longer than the last one.
It's about the same time. We were about 33 minutes. I want to try to shoot for at least 40 if we can, but hopefully we can hit an hour.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But basically, also, it's like these parents, they don't want to adapt because it scares them. I've actually seen parents that have admitted to their kids, like, I'm scared of what's going on because I don't understand it. But the thing is, they don't take the time to learn it. If you would just sit down and take the time to read up on it. Don't read up on anything related to news because that's false information right off the bat. And yeah, you're gonna get screwed over right in the anus. But basically, like if you don't like your kid playing games and he swears up and down, it's not like that. It's not like that. You can't do a third-person perspective on someone's hobby. You gotta get into a conversation with them and ask them about it. Get into the first-person perspective, and that's why everybody that's always having parent issues with their gaming because they don't understand it, I always ask them. I actually learned this from Jericho. Actually, from an old video, he's like, how to get your parents to accept YouTube, and he basically said, have them to accept you gaming. Pretty much, how do you get your parents, to accept gaming? And basically, he said, bring them, sit them down, and you two play games together. That's all you gotta do. Just play games together. Show them what it's really like. Not that it's this third-person stigma of people that don't play games. And also, we gotta fix something. We gotta stop having people that don't play games. Don't bother with them. Think that gaming is a sin. Do all these reviews on stuff. Because, you got this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he has sued Rockstar out of its wits. And Rockstar has won every time because, it's in their fair use.
Lindsay Lohan did too, for stealing their likeliness with the randomly generated.
That's actual.
I know,
thing.
But still, it was kind of funny.
But that's because of copyright infringement. This is just, he's suing it because of blood.
Yeah.
He's suing it because you run over pedestrians. There's people that swear up and down. You can... it's like, oh, GTA is bad because you can run over little kids. There's not one little kid in GTA 5 that I know of.
No one under 18.
Yeah, there's no one that's not an adult. And basically all the NPCs have to be at least in their 20s. I mean, they all look old.
Plus, even if GTA were to add children, which I know they're not, but they could just do what Elder Scrolls did and make children invincible.
Mm-hmm. Or I can see them adding children in, cutscenes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Make it, only special families or, main character families and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just... I hate the stigma, but, again, swerving right back to the parents at hand, I think it's time to get down to the ugly.
I thought we already started with the ugly.
Well, now we're on the good parent side. We're on the bad parent side.
Oh. Alright, so... Ugly parent side now?
We're going from the bottom now, we're going to the top. So we're going ugly, bad, good.
So we're on...
Sorry about that, I had a retard of a Thomas here for a moment. Yay!
Alright, guys, so now that I understand, we are talking about good parents that being the best for you. It's just they sometimes do some pretty ugly things. So, this is mainly focused on Papa Jugs for this one. I know it's kind of a surprise. Papa Jugs is actually pretty chill, pretty laid back. He understands gaming and everything. He's really awesome. It's just the only problem is sometimes he does have to take the witch's side. Not only because like they're married and he has to like step up and be the parent, but just because like different reasons overall. Like he understands gaming. He understands that I like to game a lot, and he understands like I'm not just a non-social no life on there. But sometimes he puts his foot down and thinks I game too much, which it's understandable. So he's one of the parents that wants the best for you and is like understanding of what you do. It's just sometimes they kind of drastically measure it a little bit, I guess you could say.
That's basically everything in a nutshell, because everything else are just a bad parent.
Right.
Alright, so now we're moving on to, what was our next topic? Cannot remember. We went on such a big tangent.
Well, we didn't really come up with another one. We just did the parents thing, which took us a lot longer than I thought it would. Come on, please. Wow. Twitter. Ooh, I have 9 followers.
Alright. So, I'm going to pause it for a moment while we think of something. So, guys, we're going to actually go into some gaming news here. Which actually, I do plan on all this gaming news to be over on the Smidwinders. So I really want you guys to go check that channel out. Like, seriously, we're going to really start posting on that channel. And I'm going to try to set a reminder to where I post every other day on each channel, which I'm posting daily. Hopefully I can keep that up. Every time I try, I always get burnt out really bad. But hopefully I can keep up an every other day schedule. I should be able to, but alright. But basically, the tech topic I want to talk about is GameStop's bringing a refurbished PlayStation 4 2 terabyte for, I think, like $380, which you might be wondering, like, why is it that cheap? You know, you can get a normal 500 gig one for $400. Well, if you don't know what refurbished means, that means it was broken and they fixed it. So it still has a risk of breaking again. But seriously, for a 2 terabyte hard drive, that would usually run you probably almost $600 on the PlayStation 4, because it comes pre-installed, hassle-free, instead of having to go out, buy a new one, either it being external or internal. Either way, I've heard it has a lot of process to do on the PlayStation. I don't have one personally. I do plan on getting one way later, but I just don't have the money to support 2 online accounts.
Right.
I could probably manage, but really I don't know what I'd play on it since I have my PlayStation 3 and my Xbox One, but I might buy one and like donate it to a gaming room or something. I don't know. I'll do something with it if I do get one.
It could be a birthday present for me.
Bull. But basically, I think this is a great deal because it lets people, and you can get their warranty. I mean, it's like an extra $80 and it's a guaranteed warranty. I've had, I think I've only had to use warranties on games pretty much, and they've done full replacement. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. So if your console breaks, you can say, hey, I want this, you know, I have this on warranty, can I get it back? And they've just full on given me a brand new one. They have a replacement warranty, I think it's called. It's more expensive, but yeah, get like a 2-year warranty on it, so if it craps out on you, you know, you can get it back.
I'm kind of depressed because now, like, I felt amazing when I got my 320 gigabyte external hard drive or not external, well, kind of. It was a hard drive for my Xbox 360, and I got so much stuff on there, and like it was like nothing. And now I think I've already blown through that much on my 1 terabyte Xbox One. It's like I don't like that. I like how the games are coming out. It's just they're so demanding, and one day 1 terabyte is gonna turn into the gigabyte with how much stuff games are gonna demand. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, PC Master Race, PC games. I mean, you got Call of Duty Ghost on Xbox One, 67 gigabytes. You got COD Ghost on PC. It's like, I don't even think it breaks 8. And it's superior graphics and all and everything. I mean, seriously, I hate to be that guy, but seriously, a PC is the master race. But I still am a console boy in heart.
But still, though, like, I hope they come out with at least one system that was, like, maybe even a refurbishment of, or not refurbished, like, a remake of, like, one of the older consoles, like a PS2 or a Nintendo 64 or something. Something with, like, doesn't take up ton of memory. You have to have your memory cards and stuff. Something simple.
Well, the thing is, back then, there was 1 megabyte. You know, a gigabyte was like a terabyte back then. And the games that get better graphics require more memory. That's why everything's going so much. And Sony and Xbox basically undercompensated for the new games. And we're like, oh, 500 gigs should be enough. You know, no one ever... I've never heard of one person that used full Xbox 360 500 gigs. Never heard of one.
But it would be nice if they came out with a system like that came with simple games. You know, something that you could afford and have a bunch of games for and just enjoy. You don't have to keep buying more memory space. You don't have to keep upgrading your console, and you don't have to spend so much money into a great hobby. Because, like, I'm a little bit hard when it comes to money because I don't earn a lot of it. But it would be nice to be able to, like, just buy an old Nintendo 64 or something because it's cheap. The games will be somewhat cheap. And, like, I have something to fall back on if I run out of Xbox Live
Basically,
or something.
You should buy a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, that would be nice. Well, I don't even need to buy one if my dad... yeah, let me explain that story to you guys. Papa Jugs has a PS3 that he refuses to let me have, or at least put in my room, because it's his.
They're pretty cheap, actually. Just to let you know.
I know, but still, like, compared to how much money I make...
No, but you can just ask for money for Christmas and save up for one.
Right,
like, you
but
can
then
get, like,
they're
a
gonna
12
think...
gigabyte for, like, $90.
Yeah, but my parents are gonna think there's no real reason to, and then they'll probably end up putting it in my room or something. But basically, that thing literally has, like, piles of dust. You can wipe your finger across it, and you'll see, like, a crevice of where there's no longer dust. Because he doesn't use it. And I'm so rarely up in the living room where it's put to where I can actually, like, play it, that it's just unused. So I asked him, like, when we move, because we're moving right now, as I said earlier, can we put it in my room? And then if you want to play it, you can come down and play it. And I know he's not ever going to want to play it, because every time we bring up the thought of giving it to me or getting rid of it, which most of the time the witch is on the side of getting rid of it, he defends himself, gets to keep it, and then plays it, like, once or twice afterwards, and then just waits until the next time it comes up again. So, yeah.
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying, but I really don't think it's the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One's fault that memory is so scarce. I really think they just undercompensated. Like, game developers weren't as commutative. Because I'm sure if they would have known, you know, unless there's different type of scenarios. They undercompensated it, and this is not their fault. Then there's the point where they're like, you know, maybe we'll release a patch, you know, but we don't have the money for it, you know.
Right.
And then so it goes incompetence, not caring, and then it goes greed. We're like, oh, we can squeeze an extra $120 out of these guys just so they can play more than 5 games. I mean, seriously, I have, like, maybe 10 gigabytes left. I think actually 26, but I'm waiting for the Black Ops 3 beta for that, which I will be doing, hopefully, a live stream for, but freaking school starts the day it comes out for Xbox One. And it ends, I think, the weekend. So, that hopefully I can work something out.
That's gonna suck.
Yeah, I spent all my money to play this beta, and I can only play it for maybe like 3 hours a night. Because, watch, I'm going to want to spend so much time playing this game. I'm going to spend a normal amount of time, because I'm always in my room.
Right.
Because, truly, I hate being downstairs. It's so much more boring. What do you get to do? You get to have, your mom that's sitting there on her phone, always eating something, and I hate how my family eats. Oh my god, it's almost to the point where I ask to, can I eat upstairs? Because they're sitting there. This is going to quickly turn into a pet peeves rant, so I'll save that.
The witch is bad about that too. She's always getting on me like, you should stay up here in the living room. What? Act like we're a big happy family? I don't want to watch the news or Top Gear with you guys. I don't want to just sit there listening to you guys talk, have an awkward silence, blah 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 blah, and then just have it so that you can just tell me what to do while I'm upstairs. There's no reason for me to be upstairs.
And then you got an annoying little brother that basically, you'll never hear him ever until I'm in the presence. Then he'll start making stupid noises, just dumb stuff. And my dad ignores him because he's on my side, you can just tell, but my mom is just like defending him. And she doesn't see it, just doesn't see it. He'll sit there and scream super loud. I go, dude, shut up. That's annoying. And my mom will go, Kane, you don't need to be that mean. And he can go, you don't need to be mean. God. He'll go from being 12 years old and a mature guy when we're home alone. But as soon as my mom pulls up, oh my God, it's like he's 8. It's like he never aged. And the only reason why he does it is because he knows he annoys me and he knows I can't do anything. But I'll do something to him anyway. I'll punch him. I don't care. He needs to learn.
I kind of wish I had a sibling, though.
No, you don't.
Well, not a younger sibling, but a semi-older sibling that's only like a year or two older, so that it's not super annoying older, but...
I'm 2 years older than my little brother, and virtually it'd work the same way. You guys you'd be too similar, trust me. I like having my older brother, I won't say his name because I don't know if he'd want me to, but he's 21, turning 22 this November, and he's a legend. I play with him on Xbox as much as I can, but he's been gone for something with National Guard for like past 3 weeks, so I haven't been able to play with him. Otherwise, I'd play with him almost every day. So it was pretty fun. Which sucked with the tasking though is that he works he works first shift now. He works a normal shift, but he used to work second shift. But he used to work third, then he worked second. And when he worked second, he'd get off work at 11 o'clock at night, come home, then we'd play, and we'd be up till 5 in the morning, and then he'd go to bed, and then, he'd wake up at, like, noon, have to go to work, and so, yeah.
Isn't second shift, like, 1 to 10 or something like that? It's, like, in between day
shift
and night shift.
He would leave, like, it's like an in-between, pretty much.
It's like the end of day shift and beginning of night shift.
Most second shifts actually work till like 3 o'clock to like something like 2 o'clock, and then and they intertwine with third shift, as in third shift comes in at like midnight and leaves at like 9.
Well, when my dad worked third shift, he would like go in at 8 and then come back at like 8, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's different for every company, but the company he works in, he leaves he works at John Deere. Yeah.
No.
Not your dad.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my dad.
But he works at John Deere, and it's different. And then GameStop or something. But he used to work third shift on the weekends at McDonald's, and he'd leave. You'd be trying to sleep, and you'd hear him leave at, 4. And, McDonald's, when you're in high school, doesn't put you through the strainer. Mm-hmm. Now, they want you to work, but they have so many kids that are in high school that want to work. So, they don't... So they're usually pretty populated. They're not overrun. They're not understaffed pretty much at any point. And you'd hear him leave at, 1 o'clock. You'd hear him get up and take a shower, and his hours were switch every other day. It was most jobs, you get your shift, you get your hours, that's it. But his shift was different every day. Was different every week, they have a poster, this is so-and-so schedule, apply here, and he wouldn't come back till 6, something like that. I felt bad for him because that was his weekend, and then he'd get home from school, be home for 20 minutes, get to do a little bit of homework, has to leave, and this was back when our high schools used to get out an hour and a half earlier before us, so he'd get home at 2:30, 2:20, and he'd be off to work at like 3 and won't not come home till 10. I mean, I don't think he liked it, but I think he did it for the money. Which, understandable, I mean.
How did we get around to this topic?
I don't care, but it's a podcast.
Yeah, awesome.
So, yeah. Now, I want to get into the pet peeves rant. Because I'm the type of person, as Jugs knows, that I'm the type of person...
Stop hitting your desk.
I'm not hitting my desk, I'm hitting my computer.
Oh, your computer's going to want to leave you if you keep hitting it.
I don't care.
Just like my dad did.
I just smacked it again. It liked it. Thank you, Daddy. Okay, but as Thomas knows, that I am the type of person, once you get going on an angry rant, it doesn't stop for a while.
It's like when you're younger and your parents will yell at you, or they'll yell at you in front of your friends, and you get hyped. You're like, you pack a bag, you're ready to run away. You're like, I'm leaving. I'm out.
No,
I packed a bag with one toy. One toy.
We're not copying Kevin Hart.
I know. I'm sorry.
Freaking He-Man. Sorry.
Me and D-Man are out.
So sick and fucking tired of this motherfucking school. Right. Okay.
I'm out.
I'm out of here. Okay. Back to business.
Can you pause for a Welcome back.
Welcome back. Tossing smoke. I'm an 80-year-old veteran. Alright, I don't know where that came from. But anyway, back on topic.
I had a laughing fit.
Yeah, a little bit. And trust me, a lot of slaps were given. But basically,
My face hurts.
I don't know why I feel the need to talk about it. I've talked about this so many times on my channel. But it's making a resurgence. It always does. I'm a very irritable person. Especially when I'm freaking tired and hungry. And then we don't eat forever. And my biggest pet peeve out there is listening to people eat and drink and try to talk to you at the same time. Seriously, my mom is the worst about this. I really don't feel bad about talking crap about this at this point because I don't feel like they're watching.
Hey, Mom. Hey,
at this
hey,
point.
Hey.
What?
Hey, Kane. Hey, how are you? Ow.
You deserved it. That was a slap on the chest, but basically, we're at dinner, trying to have a conversation. I don't know about you, but when I get talked to at dinner, I finish what's in my mouth, and I put my fork down, and I talk. And then when I'm done, I pick back up. My mom will be in the middle of a conversation and just start shoveling food in her mouth. You can't understand her because she's there. Swear to God. And it's so annoying, especially, I don't know how you can be this loud. She's doing with her mouth closed and everything, and all you can hear is... And then we got the slurpers and the gulper. You're a little bit of a slurper here.
Yeah, I'm
just
sorry.
to let you know, and you piss me off.
I do that a lot.
But I deal with it just for you.
Yay.
Only you. But seriously, when they sit there for 20 goddamn minutes, which is you again, you take so long to finish drinking, you just...
That's mostly when I have cans, alright?
I know, and that's why I volunteered to have these. Oh my God. And then you got the gulpers, which is everybody in my family except for me. When you drink, do you feel yourself like putting almost your tongue in the back of your throat?
I don't know, but I can't swallow things that are like, big chunks. Not even like
I'm talking
big
about
chunks.
liquid here.
Well, still. Like, it's the same kind of feeling. If you're trying
But like, well, yeah, not in big quantities, but like when you're taking a drink, do you make the...
No, I don't make that sound.
Exactly.
It hurts to gulp something that...
Seriously, you try? I mean, you've had to hear this at my dinner table because you've eaten here so many times.
Yeah. Most of the time it's just you and I, though. Or you, me, and Keaton.
Well, yeah, but still, you've eaten here a fair share amount of times at dinner. And so basically, all you hear is boom, boom, boom. And my little brother, every freaking time, holds his chest because it hurts to take that big of a drink. He goes,
uh-oh, retard alert.
And it's like, why do you keep doing it if it hurts? I've done it a couple times when I was a little kid because it's just, you're still learning etiquette and everything. And to me, it's rude to sit there. I mean, imagine this. You're at a business meeting. Your boss goes like, you know what? I'm feeling nice. I'm treating everybody to dinner. or to lunch, whenever this is. And all of a sudden, you see all these waiters coming out, waitresses, handing you your
catering
plate.
service, basically.
Yeah, a catering service. And they hand you your plate. It's like a spaghetti dinner with, like milk, let's say. You might not like milk, but let's just use it.
Most of the time they would do like a glass of water.
Yeah, like glass of water or something. And then, so you're all eating, having a good dinner. Everybody's silent because they're all enjoying their food. It's a big, long business day. You're hungry. And then you hear, I'm not kidding. I'm not even exaggerating. That's literally what it sounds like. I mean, I could try to simulate it right here.
Something I can't do
hurts.
when I'm, like, eating or anything like that. I cannot look at people while I'm eating. If I'm eating dinner,
hurts.
I have to, like, not have any food on my fork in order to look at someone and talk. Because it's just so awkward. I try not to look around while I'm eating. I just look down at my plate and I just eat. Alright?
Yeah, I kind of do the same, but like when I'm with my family, we usually are pretty social at the dinner table. So I'm always looking at the person that's talking, I take nibbles, but when everybody's silent, that's when I go in for the kill. Get in my belly! Alright, I gotta stop.
Hardcore team deathmatch.
Hardcore team deathmatch Minecraft. No references.
Too many references.
We have to make our own. We have to make our own. Jug slap!
Alright. Let's do this.
Off the topic of eating pet peeves, now it's the gaming pet peeves. We've already talked about this, but it needs to be talked about again.
And I did a list of it, so.
What?
And we've both done little things about it, so.
Basically, here are types of gamers. Are people that try to play with you online that just annoy the living piss out of me.
Ooh, I've got the first one. The pimps. Now, the pimps usually consist of really deep-voiced white guys who think they're black, or really little kids who have really high squeaky voices, because they fill up their friends list with random people, and then they'll try to convince you that Vanoss Gaming or Jacksepticeye or someone's on their friends list, and then they try to get you on their friends list, and then they try to play with you all the time, and they try to make you think like you should be with their friend because they're awesome. They're just absolutely terrible.
Yeah, and then you got the people that don't know how to work a mic. Your mic situation is different because you got a shitty mic.
Yes.
There's no good spot for it. There's no golden spot. It's either he's breathing in it like a freaking wind tunnel, or you can't even understand him, he's so quiet. There's no good, like, pretty much a G spot for the mic.
When I hold my mic and it's like nearly perfect, it's right here.
Right next to
so you can
his
still
eye.
hear. It's halfway across my eye. You can still hear me, but you can't hear my breathing, and it's.
Yeah, and you're not a loud breather. You just breathe right into it. But you also got the people that just Kelton, I'm calling you out here. Seriously, you need to talk louder in your mic, because what you do is with the mic you have, you put it on your head. You put it down to the low where it's under your chin, the lowest it can go, and you talk loud. You talk a normal voice. He talks way too quiet to even own this mic. You know,
should give it to me.
And then when you tell him to talk louder, he doesn't talk louder. He moves it right in his mouth to where you can't even understand him because it sounds like
Foghorn. Look at that. Look at that on the audio waves.
Just, but oh god, I did something tremendous.
We're playing with audio.
I like to play with your audio. Alright.
Joke slap.
Okay. Joke slap.
Alright, guys, before we get back into this, I just want to mention, we're going to try to record the next laughing fit, because they're kind of funny, and they happen a lot.
To you.
To me, yeah.
So if you get annoyed, it's not my fault. I try to stop it. But anyway, we need to get back to the topic on hand. If you're a mic breather, basically all you gotta do to pretty much tell is if you're breathing normally and you don't have a fan on, if you don't have anything that really picks up background noise, and you keep on seeing your mic pulsate when you're not even talking, you know you're a mic breather, you need to fix it. I mean, it's rude to other gamers because, they're trying to have a good time, but you literally can't hear anything over the freaking wind tunnel that they produce. It is so annoying. You can't talk to anybody else. Then you got the people that put their mic right in their mouth, and then, they're not mic breathers, but they're extremely loud. Just extraordinarily loud. And again, same purpose, same thing. These guys virtually are in the same category. You try talking to somebody else, and you can't hear them because this other kid's sitting there, just sitting there the whole time making these retarded noises. You think he's freaking Yeti, half the time. He's like,
ululating. That's the term for that.
Yodeling?
Ululating.
It's a
like,
yodeling.
Yeah.
Yodeling.
That's not the same thing. Alright.
Faggot. Okay. Back to composure. And then we got the person that is deaf. Now
these three people were kind of like in the same boat.
No.
Kind of.
No,
I've got
not this person right here.
Alright, well.
You know exactly who I'm talking about. He was in the first podcast pretty heavily. He has to be deaf. Mr. Tim. I mean, because seriously, every time you're talking to him, if you talk above a normal voice, you can hear yourself in his mic so easily. I mean, we have the same headset. We both have the stereo Xbox headset,
They're pretty mighty fine at that.
If I turn mine all the way up on the volume side and turn it primarily to chat side, which you pretty much need to do, otherwise you can't hear anything, it hurts my ears. It pierces them. It's so loud. But he has them so... I mean, these headsets are loud. Like, seriously, you can use them as speakers. They are ridiculously loud. He has them so loud that you can literally hear yourself through his headset. Like, it's not even like that old Xbox 360 Echo thing that would just randomly happen. It's literally you talk and his mic's picking it up out of his headphones.
I think he does what I did a lot with my Turtle Beaches. Whenever like my ears started to hurt from wearing them, I would just put them around my neck.
He doesn't. He leaves them on.
Okay then.
Because everybody else talks too quiet.
Alright, so I've got the next person here, and this is kind of
Give me a break.
This is kind of calling myself out on this. Because I used to do it all the time. Not so much anymore because I realized how really annoying it could be. But the people who have good mics that pick up a good amount of stuff, but they eat and drink. Now, Kane used to get annoyed by this a lot, and I've stopped doing it pretty much, and if I have to drink something, I'll like put my mic on the ground away from me.
All I gotta do is mute it. I eat and drink all the time, but I just mute my mic. That's why, when I... I'm
not used to the new muting system yet.
All this is a button.
I know, but like it used to be you couldn't hear them if you muted them.
No.
Or if you muted your mic, I don't know.
It was never like that. You just when you mute, you don't mute the headset sound. You mute the mic, which means you pretty much turn it off. That's what I do. Like the other day when I kept on going silent, is because I was eating and I put it on mute and I forgot to unmute it. So
the world of rapture.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is just mute your mic. But anyway, continue.
I know that now.
Continue.
So basically, it's really annoying in like public lobbies for GTA and stuff like that. That is really bad because you're sitting there, you're driving around. I like to listen to the East Los Santos FM, even though I don't understand some of the stuff they say because it's in Spanish. It's nice to listen to because it's got a nice vibe to it. But and then you just hear.
And real quick, someone to add on that literally, they get on the mic to blast music.
Yes, people just playing music.
Like, seriously, why do you even get on the mic?
So basically, annoying mic people is the main amount of things for this pet peeves for gamers type thing.
Just, if you're one of these people, you gotta try to fix it. There is no leadway in this. It's rude, it's crude, it's nasty at some points, and... it's just annoying. It's all around a bad thing. You are a bad person to play with on Xbox, PlayStation, if you're one of these people.
That can't adapt, because I somewhat adapted.
Yeah, you're getting way better, but you just have a really bad mic, dude. There's no perfect spot for it.
And the bad part is, like, I can barely ever buy games or anything like that, and I'm glad I'm doing this game sharing thing now with Albo. And it makes everything so much easier because then I can actually get games. But the only problem is I make so little money because I don't get paid for chores. because I'm supposed to get $5 a week, but apparently $5 a week equals up to 3 months of Xbox Live. Okay, so that's why I don't get allowance. So I can barely ever buy stuff except for around Christmas time. I can't. If I do any work for family, friends, or family, I'm not allowed to charge them at all because it's considered rude. Even family friends I can't charge. So I'm glad we're moving into this new neighborhood because there's a ton of big yards and stuff, and I could absolutely just mow for people.
Yeah. And I know you haven't mowed a whole lot, or if you ever have you?
What?
Ever mowed? Never mowed a lawn?
My great uncle Richard taught me how to ride a lawn.
You really don't think it's that big of a deal, but
I know it's gonna suck.
When you don't have that much money, you have a push mower, it's a pain in the ass.
Right, my parents said that they're gonna get a rideable so that they can do it when I'm not here.
Yeah. Me personally, I do like push mowers way better, but our rider broke, and you guys seen my yard, the field. Oh my god, I hate doing the field.
It sucks.
It's just, and then my dad always decides. I mean, you'll find this out once you guys get a lawn that you need to mow. Literally, me and my friend Michael, we always talk about this issue, that they literally decide it needs to be mowed when it's barely taller than it was when you mowed it the first time. They will have you mow it at the most stupid times, like, oh, it just rained. And it's going to grow. Well, no, duh, it's going to grow. It just got water, but let's wait till it grows because it gets to the point to where you can't see it because of the sun. You can't see where your line is because, I mean, don't just sit there and go random to push that, random push. You got to have a system. You got to go up and down in a square, in a circle. You got to have a system when you mow.
Like a Zen garden.
Pretty much. But seriously, it gets so annoying to mow when you can't see where your line is because of the sun hitting it, and the grass is so small that you can't see it because, you basically can't even tell that you mowed it.
You know what's even more annoying about mowing, though? Not being paid for it.
Oh yeah, I know how that is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a family responsibility.
Dude, that's another thing that sucks. Alright, so the witch does this like once every couple months or so. She sets down my chores, says that I might get paid for them if I do them, and then they'll start to tack off and off and off. It'll start out, walk the dogs, dry the dishes, bring your clothes up from your hamper, make sure your room's clean your bathroom. Alright, sounds pretty simple. I can do all this and I'll get paid for it. Then it starts tacking off. Well, you should clean your room and your bathroom because you want to be clean. The dogs are yours too. It's a family responsibility. Drying dishes shouldn't be a chore. It's something simple that you do. Blah 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 blah. There you go. All the chores are gone.
Yeah, all the chores turn into responsibilities. I'm very thankful ours hasn't, but it's gotten pretty close to that where basically our chores. There was 2 chores. I got sick and tired of cleaning up cat poop, and all Keaton had to do was feed a bird. Old Blue.
Whatever happened to that bird?
He died.
Oh, that's right.
I told you like this 4 times. He hasn't been here for
forget.
4 years.
I mean, I know he hasn't been here for 4 years. It's just I always forget, like, always forget when he just kind of was gone.
Man, he was in pain. Oh my god. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't move. He just sat there. I was the only person he ever let pick him up.
He looked at me a lot.
He looked at everybody. He was so annoying too. He just right in the morning, bright and early, just really loud.
Who needs a rooster?
Yeah, he was nice though. And so basically, I got sick and tired of doing cat. I have to go downstairs, feed the cats, clean their litter box, which they pooped a lot. Oh my god!
Almost as
It
much
was
as
our
you.
one cat. It was Salem. Oh my god, he
That
pooped
was the other
so
cat, I remember.
much. Just there was a crap load. But
Pun intended.
no. But like it was so much. You felt filthy after doing it. You felt like you didn't want to, even though you wash your hands, you feel like you don't want to eat anything because you just had that on your hands. I mean, for me, it takes me like 2 hours to be able to alright, I'm clean of this, I forget about it. But it really does make you feel disgusting, especially when you had to do it every day. It changed every other day now, but it used to be every day. And I only got paid $3 for it. air. I think it started off with $2, $3, and now it's up to $5. But now more and more stuff gets added. Like before, now we have this alternating chore system to where, like the upstairs, since we got rid of the bird, it became cleaning. So all you have to do was vacuum the living room, vacuum the dining room, and then you'd sweep the kitchen. The reason why most people, it's like, you have carpet in your dining room? What an idiot. No, we have an area rug in our dining room that fills up most of the stuff, so we just have to vacuum it. And then it added, you need to do the bathroom. And then then my dad would even slip in, oh, why don't you do my room while you're at it? And you can't say no. And then it added the upstairs, which, yeah, the upstairs is so pointless. All you do is dust it. Our upstairs wood is so nasty looking. It's so old. There's no point. You could literally poop on it, smear it, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
This is a little bit kind of different, but back to the cat thing. I don't know about you, but a lot of times when a house has like more than a cat or two in it, like, you feel weird walking around the whole place without like socks or shoes on, because it's like you're picking up kitty litter with your feet. Like, this is a little bit off topic, but
I only feel that way when I'm downstairs, which is where the cat litters.
It's like, alright, my aunt lives with my grandpa's because she's taking care of him, and they're trying to move out, but like, it's kind of difficult because money's a little bit tough. Not everyone's like easily making money and stuff, but like, you go around the house, the kitty litter and stuff is in the basement, but the cats walk around the whole house, so everywhere you go, it's like, man, how do people live here? I have to scrape stuff off my feet, I have to, like, dangle out my socks.
I'm glad our cats aren't like that. They don't track it.
One of them is just really old, though. That's Max. I told you about Max. Max I grew up with is the only cat in the world that I actually, like, adore.
Our cats are awesome. Our one cat, Truffles, she's a beast, and the other cat's just annoying.
Fat Puma.
Yeah, the Fat Puma.
You should revive that again.
For all you OGs out there. But, yeah, I guess people that don't really take care... I also hate people that treat animals like they're real human beings. I know a lot of people might get on my case like, oh my god, I can't believe you degrade them like that. We should trade them. We should, animal abuse is bad. I'm not talking about animal abuse. I'm talking about when it gets to the point where you're downstairs and your mom's like, go let out the dog, and then you start yelling at the dog because he won't come inside, and then you get in trouble for it's like you're yelling at a little brother.
Or when people, they treat their dogs as if it's their only friend, so they put them in clothes. Like, I never understood that. Clothing for dogs is just stupid. I'm sorry.
My mom put clothes on our dog, and he loves them. He's weird.
A Halloween costume, maybe. A Christmas sweater,
I remember
maybe, but that's only like around the holidays. You don't need to put your dog in a friggin' $30 tuxedo for dogs.
Plus, we also put our dog in a sweater because he gets really bad mats on his fur because he gets really curly hair. So we always have to have him shaved and everything. Got a good haircut. We have to really groom him very well.
You should make him look like a poodle next time.
They do
shave everything but his ears and his feet.
He does look like a poodle.
And the tip of his tail.
And he does. That's exactly what he looks like.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I've never seen him shaved then.
Yeah, I have many times. You just don't realize it.
I'm thinking of like the stereotypical poodle then.
Because, usually he only has his hair long like it is now for like maybe a week and a half.
Well, I'm thinking like the stereotypical poodle in the movies where it's like naked everywhere except for where they keep a little bit of hair.
Yeah, most poodles don't even look like that.
Yeah, I've never seen an actual poodle up close.
I've seen only one poodle that looked like that, and it was a show dog.
I saw a long-haired chihuahua that kind of looked like that once.
Yeah, most poodles are like...
Bit me.
I think only purebred poodles look like that, but most of them are poodle...
Fashion stars.
Yeah. But,
Back on topic.
Yeah. And so we have to put a sweater on him to keep him warm because he's a small dog. He doesn't have a lot of body fat, so he gets cold. He shivers outside most of the time.
Like a chihuahua.
And so we get a sweater for him just to keep him warm in the winter when he has to go potty. Just it's a courtesy thing almost.
We put sweaters on our dogs around Christmas time, but we have to get those ones that go nowhere near the crotch because otherwise our dogs are stupid and they'll pee on the crotch area, and then they'll like get their whole stomach wet and everything, and it's just nasty. Ugh. Made that mistake once. Never doing it again.
Our dog's sweaters just cover his stomach pretty much. So yeah, I just basically treat your. I also hate, like, a lot of people are gonna be thinking it's jealousy, but I have this baby cousin. I think he's 2 now. Yeah, he's 2, but seriously, he takes priority over everything. I mean, I think I was about to go to your house actually, and I'm trying to look for my jacket, and it was like February or something. It was cold.
Oh, that was when. Oh, I've got a funny story about that.
I don't know. Was that jumping on the bed?
Not the bed. The snow. I had to walk my dogs, and you felt bad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys that story after he's done.
God, I was so retarded. But anyway, I was trying to find my jacket, and my cousin was over. And they're sitting there, they're playing with him, and I'm like, "Hey mom, hey mom, hey mom,
Mom.
hey mom." I said it like 10 times, and then she gets all mad at me and says, "Kane, Michael, what do you want?" I'm just like, "I just want to know where my jacket is. The last time I saw it was that you washed it." And then they go, I hate when my parents do this.
Saying that you lost it.
They do. No, they don't say that I lost it.
My parents do that a lot.
They say that I blame them for everything. It's like, I'm not blaming. I only blame you for the stuff that I should blame you for. Like, when the last time I saw my mom kept on getting mad at me because I kept on getting on her case. Well, it's healed now, but my ankle brace needed washed. And I took it home from detasseling, took it off the day I got home. That was a week ago now. And she washed it yesterday.
Huh.
And it's healed now because I got off it. But it would have healed so much better if I got to use it. I kept on getting on her case. She's like, and I'm like, "Mom, where's my ankle brace?" And, you were the last one that had it. And she goes, "Oh, you blame me for everything." I'm like, "Of course I am. Because I'm blaming you for the stuff that I don't bring. If you're not to blame, I don't bring it up to you."
Right.
So it seems like I'm blaming you for everything, but if you're not to blame, I don't bring it up to you.
Right. So, the little story I was talking about. So, Kane is a great guy, alright? I have to admit. He's practically like a brother to me. He understands the whole witch situation and how it absolutely sucks to be around her at all. If you ever meet me and you become a friend of mine, you spend the night at my house, you're going to see an actress in action, basically. But I would advise your parents to not become friends with my parents until they're divorced, which hopefully happens. But, so, Kane was over, and...
She doesn't really put up her show around me that much.
Well, no, because, like, when you're new, it's mostly, or you don't come over that often or something.
Yeah.
So, like, she got on my case that night about not drying the dishes, even though I had a friend over. Like, if it's a friend that's been over a good amount of times now, then she still expects me to do the dish, or dry the dishes and walk the dogs. So she got on my case about not drying the dishes, so I ended up drying them. And then she said I had to walk the dogs. And
I was thinking about offering to help, but I thought in my head that she was going to turn it around on you, thinking that you were using me. I just didn't want that to happen. I mean, I felt bad making you do all the work, but I just didn't want to backlash on you.
Yeah, it's fine. But, so... He felt bad, so he...
Because real quick, knowing your stepmom, she would probably have thought I was an ass for asking to help.
Right. A lot of parents do that. They think, like, "Oh, you're the guest, you shouldn't have to do anything."
It's like, I'm not a guest at this point. I'm part,
Right.
At least you at my house, you're not a guest. You're part of the family. You're a brother. You come over, you're treated like family.
Right.
No one treats
Thomas! Do your damn chores.
I don't know.
Do I have to slap you or what? Anyway. So he felt bad, so he decided to come with me as I was walking one of them. I don't remember. I think it might have been
It was
Chopper.
Jasper.
It was Jasper? Alright. Well, it was in the middle of the fucking winter, and there's snow out. Stupid guy over here wore gym shorts and a sweatshirt. So we're walking down the street.
I wasn't expecting to go outside.
Still, though, you don't wear gym shorts in the middle of winter. I hate it. Like, a lot of people...
I was only going to be outside for 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I just don't wear shorts in the winter.
My other shorts weren't what? I wear shorts all the time. I don't do pants.
It's a great excuse for me to wear pants because I love wearing pants, and then I get yelled at if it's the summer and I'm wearing pants because she thinks I'm going to dehydrate when honestly I'm comfortable.
Just an FYI, if you didn't know this already, I'm a big person. I heat up really easily, and I keep that heat in me. I blubber.
I'm a big man and a little body.
Yeah. I mean, he ate 12 pieces of pizza. He ate a whole pizza from Little Caesars. I don't know if Little Caesars is like across the country, worldwide.
I think it is.
At
least it's Midwest and East Coast, because it's there too. I know.
Yeah, I don't see anything about the West Coast. I think West Coast pretty much just like In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah. Anyway.
And so it's huge pizzas. Like huge pizzas. Like a normal pizza place, one of their pizzas consists of like 3 of a normal pizza place. He ate 12 of them. Just so
not 12 pizzas, 12 pieces.
Yeah, and then he went downstairs and got more. We're all going upstairs. Me and my friend Robbie have 2 pieces in our plate. If we're still hungry, 5. We'll go get more. He walks up with almost half the box. I'm almost about to the point where it's just take up the pizza box. That is your plate.
Alright, so we should probably get back to the story at this point. So, he wore shorts, and we were walking down the street. We've got these giant snowbanks on the side of our road because they come plow it, but they don't think about, like, having the snow push back at all. So it's difficult to walk the dogs in the winter because you either got to pick them up and put them on the other side of the snow mound, or you've got to let them, like, make that treacherous climb. It's like friggin' climbing the Mount Everest for them. But, like,
I think you dared me to jump in the snow, and I just did it.
No, you just jumped in randomly. We were walking and talking, and you just jumped in.
No, there was some purpose there was to it. Some comedic
There was like
purpose.
A milk jug on the other side of it, I remember. And you were like gonna go get it, and you just jumped in.
I know what happened. Is that it was like end of February, so everything was in transition period of in the day it melts, at night it freezes over in ice.
Right.
So there was ice, and I'm just sitting there. We're making fun of this one van because it looked like a pedo van. And then I felt a little bit of slip, and then I just kind of went with it, and I just kind of jumped in.
Yeah, he jumped into the snow.
I did it like 2 or 3 times. It felt good. I was really hot.
Oh, that guy doesn't live there anymore. Really? They broke up. It was one of my... Remember Mark I told you about? The one that can buff up the PC? Mm-hmm. He lived there. And that was for his work, so... He's not a child molester, I promise. Chester, the child molester.
That makes it even weird. We're talking about this pedo van. You know the damn guy. Makes him sound like more of a pedo. Right. Oh, that's Marco. He's a nice guy. He gives me candy in his basement. Sound like the one nerdy guy from Ghostbusters.
Oh, did you see?
I love that guy.
I don't know. Did you watch the epic rap battle history with the Ghostbusters?
No.
It's awesome. The makeup is like perfect in that one too.
Show me after.
I will. But he's like, I'm a savage killer.
After.
All right, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So he jumped in for some reason.
It was comedic.
There was something with a milk jug? Why did we have a milk jug? I think I was supposed to recycle it on the way.
Yeah, you were supposed to recycle it, and you forgot, and I started beating you with it. And then I just threw it somewhere, and we never saw it since.
Yeah, we're literally...
I just whipped it across the field.
It was hilarious.
There was almost no way you could spot it.
It was camouflaged.
Oh, Lord. What are we doing with our lives?
Nothing.
Exactly.
According to parents, at least.
Yeah. Well...
Modernizing the future, in our eyes.
Modernizing the future is what we do.
Okay.
I'm going.
You're a racist bastard.
I'm going. God, where is this going?
We're trying to fill in time at this point because we've been going over an hour.
I know, this is our longest podcast yet.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought our first one was like 2 hours.
No, it was nowhere close.
Oh,
it was like barely breaking an hour. It's like an hour and 3 minutes. Our last one was a half hour. This one's going on an hour 30.
Awesome.
But on the topics of complaining about parents, why don't you give us a Witch Weekly story?
Oh, actually, I was planning on doing one anyway.
We'll post it on your channel afterwards, but let's get an insight, can you make one to, like, exclusify to the podcast members?
Alright, well, should I tell an old one?
Sure.
Alright, well, I'm gonna tell you a bit of an older kind of story. So, I think it was about 6th grade, maybe early 7th grade. I was starting to hang out with Kane here a lot more, and we would like hang out every couple weekends or so. It was like
No,
often.
it was like every weekend.
Yeah, it pretty much was. And then like, every now and then, like once or twice, we've had like where we spent the whole weekend together. And God, my throat just cut out. And I kept inviting Kane over, but it's just like whenever we didn't hang out was the weekends he was busy, and it was like an inconvenience. So I would invite him over, and eventually she started getting an attitude with me and him. She was like, I don't think he wants to come over here. I think he's just mean or something like that. At least she's not doing what she does with RD and just doesn't let me hang out with him at all.
Yeah.
She refuses to let me hang out with RD now because of the party.
He didn't even do any. I was the weirdest one there.
No, it was because she said that we were beating up on him and stuff and just like being rude, and she got a bad vibe off him, and she didn't
not
like
see us
him.
doing that to everybody?
I don't
Mostly
know.
did it to you.
Yeah, but she's just, I guess because
picky.
I didn't really talk about him much before my party, but then again, it was because he goes to a different school. He used to go to our school.
Well,
but,
plus you just play with him on Xbox, and
Right.
he can only play on Xbox One like the weekends.
right, because he's at his dad's.
You know, so contact is limited.
Right, so
But still, he's a good friend,
anyway, yeah, he is. He's great.
and he was funny as hell.
But now I can't hang out with him.
The fucking horse noise he makes.
God
I don't know how he does it.
Ugh.
It's scary.
dang.
If I ever get him in a video, I'll make him do the noise. Alright, but continue.
Alright, so anyway, she started getting mad about Kane, and she considered not letting me hang out with him at this point. Because,
Tell me
like,
this part.
I've told you this part before. I haven't worded it exactly like this, but, like, she didn't want me to hang out with you for some time now because you didn't want to come over and thought that you were, like, high maintenance or something like that.
How's me going over to your house, which is pristine as fuck, high maintenance?
Because she thought you didn't want to come over, like, you didn't want to see our house or whatever. She, like, took it way out of, like, context or something. I don't know. But I actually had to, like, lay her straight because of it. I was
And
like,
this was, like, keep in mind, if you go back and watch some of my older videos from back then, all the way on my Viking Bay Gamer account, this was a time in my life where every pretty much weekend we kept on going to my grandma and grandpa's for very exhausting and boring reasons. And I was just busy, and the reason why I invited him over to my house was because that meant I was busy, I was free. And I'm not gonna lie, there was some days where you did call and I just made up I was going to my grandma's just to give you
I mean, it's alright. Whoa.
an excuse to tell your I did that. Excuse to tell your mom, because there was just some days I was so tired.
Right.
You know, I'm a very tired person. I need a lot of sleep.
Right. And I'm not offended or anything by it. Honestly, I get it. But then before I had to lay her straight, she just started saying, like, I would ask her, hey, can I ask if Kane could spend the night, or could I ask if a friend could spend the night?
That, you know, you asked if I can go over, and I come over. That was the one night you actually called on a good night.
Right.
You know, now you call ahead pretty much just to be sure. And so I come over, and he tells me once we get downstairs, get all situated and settled in, that your mom gave you sass about me not wanting to come over.
Yeah, she does it all the fucking time, and it really pisses me off. And
And I think
Jake, I'm sorry. If you're listening to this, you can go ahead and get, like, a little bit skeptical about me, because I'm about to cuss the hell out of this podcast, because it really pisses me off talking about her. So, she would say, I would always...
Wait, just disclaimer. I know it's on my channel, but this is not on me. This is his choice.
Right, this is me.
I'm sure he doesn't care anyway. He's just basically, if you get in trouble with your parents, all he's worried
My
about
parents
is
don't know. They know about my fucking YouTube channel. They just don't give a shit about looking on it or anything.
Yeah, they don't really care.
So, like...
Both of my parents are subscribers.
I would ask Kane if he would spend the night. Or I would ask if Kane could spend the night, and she would go, I don't care. But he's probably not going to come. Like, even sassier than that. And I'm like, fuck. This is stupid. So I'd ask, and then sometimes it's not a good night. And I think it was finally, like, end of 7th grade or mid-7th grade or something that you actually could come over.
It wasn't too long ago, actually. Like, it was probably just a shy of a year ago, the first time I came
like
over.
beginning of 8th grade, maybe?
Yeah, and I've only been over, like, 3 times. It's just, I'm always busy, and usually he comes over to my house.
Because it's a lot more fun. We can record better. We can play stuff
like,
together.
basically, all we have to do is, like, at a whisper talking level, play Xbox at his house.
Right.
You know, we can go outside. I got a big yard. We can record.
I got a big yard, too. It's just I know everyone there, and
just
it's
think of
embarrassing.
how loud we're talking right now. And
I get yelled at.
12:40 at night.
I would have gotten yelled at for this. So, yeah, I had to finally lay her fucking straight. I talked to her. I said, Kane is one of my closest friends, and I'm not going to put up with you saying all this mean stuff about him simply because he's always fucking busy. Now, I didn't use those exact words because, obviously, I cussed in that, but you get the point. I was pissed off because she was trying to keep me from hanging out with one of my close friends. Now, the only reason I'm not really doing this with RD is because RD and I we've got a couple things in common, but we're not, like, as close as Kane and I are. So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much the story.
Yeah, my parents, I think the only time they really, they never talk bad about you, but they talked about your dislike, like a dislike was
Which
just...
I'm fine with. They can even come and talk to me straight up about it, like, you're fucking annoying.
You're not allowed to get over, you know the piss out of me. But basically, it was a long time ago where when you were an absolute ditz and a klutz, where you'd fall every 30 seconds.
Oh, God.
And you'd spill. Basically, I don't know why. Spilling is a sin in this house. I don't know why it is. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a little spill. Most of the time, it's just water. And it's a sin, you know? It shows signs of, like, sloppiness. I'm like, no, accidents happen. I don't care. I clean it up. And then it clogs the freaking toilet. But with his poo, like, there was almost zero toilet paper. And just poo. Clogged the freaking toilet.
He didn't believe me. He thought I was just one of those people that used too much toilet paper. Nope. All authentic, all shit.
Oh my god. It was a little weird. And he made me unclog it. Next time,
I couldn't unclog it, alright?
next
I
time
was a rookie at unclogging.
Next time you clog it, you're unclogging.
I had your dad unclog it once, I think.
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And then he made me do it again. Both times I think you did it twice in one night. Anyway, off topic again.
Kinda.
I mean, they just basically was like, oh man, you know, if he's gonna be like, basically the only thing they threatened was if he's gonna be like that, he can't have drinks in your room. You know, you have carpet in there. And, you know, I'm like, that's not even a big deal. I spill stuff all the time. You don't realize that. I'm an expert cleaner. I'm clumsy too. But that was basically the extent, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. They were just saying, we don't want your carpet stained. You know?
That's understandable.
I've spilled so much stuff in here, it's ridiculous, and they don't even know about it because I clean it. But, yeah,
And now they know.
my parents aren't very judgmental. They're basically, they don't pick my friends for me. They will step in if you're like a full-on gang member. You know, you show up with pocket knives, you know, with an extra crew and everything. You know, these are my homies.
Hey, you want to buy a couple drugs? I have an after-school special if you want.
No, I'm done with you. Go home now. It's
I'll
almost
walk.
1 o'clock. Go home.
Okay, I'll walk.
I'll give you the keys to my mom's van. No, I'm just kidding.
I just realized we streamed for a day now.
We're not streaming.
Or podcasted for a day.
We don't care.
Just like you shit for a year.
What?
Remember, we talked about this earlier today. It took you a year to shit.
True.
Oh, that was funny.
But, yeah. Freaking crap kid. Oh man, this has been the most epic podcast we've ever done so far. This is, I think, podcast number 3?
Yeah, it is. Podcast number 3 that's been uploaded.
Alright, we don't count those.
That's
That's why I decided I'm never doing camera work again with that long, because this camera sucks anus. It just randomly stops recording and turns off. You don't get to choose when it works. It chooses. It's like, ooh, you want to make a video? Ooh, no.
The camera chooses the cameraman. Harry Potter reference.
That was gay. I bet you want to tickle Harry Potter.
Whoa. God. You creeped me out.
You talk about Harry Potter way too much.
Hey, it's a good series, okay?
Way too much.
Hmm.
I'm guessing you got a little Voldemort in your pants. Got Voldemort underpants.
I'm actually not wearing any right now.
That's disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're at my house. That's a little weird.
Yep, accept it.
No. 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 No.
Remember the one time I took everything out of your bag and your clothes emptied out and I just started laying it over you while you were playing games?
And I just casually kept playing because I was beasting on
You
Black
just
Ops.
didn't care.
Because I am a tank. A tank Dempsey.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
We had to move some shit to some other shitty spots.
Well, do you have any other stories to tell? And basically old stories that won't make it on your new channel? Because you're basically doing new stories on your channel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because honestly, if these viewers are like me, they like a long video just to listen to in the background.
Right.
It's kind of someone listens to these whole things every time.
Yeah.
And, you know...
William listens to them. Kelton listens to them.
So, yeah, you know, they like a good long podcast. So it's, you know, and if they're anything like me, I like these stories. I don't know why, but...
It's because it's kind of like a... It's interesting to see these things. And then, like I suggested before, you could post a series, like, reacting to Witch Weekly and then whatever.
Yeah, I think I will do that. But once you get your new ones coming out... It could be like a little
cooperational thing.
Yeah, once you get your new ones coming out. So, yeah.
Alright. There's, like... There's the one that I kind of like to call The Blame. And it's... I told you about this one with the... she didn't think I was using my body wash. And then the whole... I'll just tell the story.
I don't remember it.
So, after a whole week of friggin' showering and everything each night, and then I actually showered twice one day that week because we were going to the pool or something, I don't know. But she fucking thought I was not using my body wash or my shampoo because it barely got any lighter, and I was confused too. Like, I've been using this for a whole week, why does it still feel full? Well, she friggin' had me take out my scrunchie and my body wash. She had me put as much body wash as I normally use onto the scrunchie over the sink. And she was like, there's no way you use that much bullshit. And then I got in trouble for a little while. And then she got mad at me because I rinsed the soap off of the scrunchie in my sink. And it apparently left a soap ring. Now, some people probably have this problem too. When you're brushing your teeth or something, like, you'll get little bits of toothpaste into the little sink part while it's draining out, and you might not notice it right away, so you might walk away, and then later you'll come back and you'll see it, and you're just like, oh, clean it off real quick. Well, she gets mad at me because I friggin' didn't notice an, like, practically invisible soap ring inside my friggin' sink. Like, you had to look at it from above to even notice it. If you were looking at it from a normal person's angle, you wouldn't have noticed it. So there's, like, just little soap ring. It kind of looks like a soap spider web at that point. And she friggin' just rants on me for, like, half an hour about how I don't keep anything clean when my bedroom is cleaner than Timmy's bedroom, which is actually pretty neat. Cleaner than, no offense to you, but Kane's bedroom.
I have too much stuff. That's my issue. I have too much stuff, not enough space.
Too much stuff, not enough space.
No, literally, half the stuff, if I could, I would be putting in a shelf.
You need epic... What's it called? Those saver bags thingies.
I don't even know.
But wait, there's more!
Let's continue on, boy.
Alright, so... Yeah, she got mad at me about that. And then it happened a couple more times. Like, you'd think at this point, Jugs, you just need to start just sitting there as your friggin' thing drains out and start just wiping away any toothpaste. Jesus, look at the audio waves on that.
Yeah, I sneezed.
Well, duh. So, yeah. And I have to clean my bathroom every Saturday, and I have to, like, close off the drain, but I just fill up my sink with warm water and this, like, fluid.
That's all you need.
Right, but, like, when I'm using the sponge and stuff, it'll pick up like little dust balls and stuff like that, and hair or whatever, and it'll go into the water and stuff. Well, as it's draining out, I'm not like staring at it, watching for a piece of hair or something as it's draining out. I'm cleaning my mirror, and then once I'm done cleaning my mirror, I'm just like, alright, well, there's a bit of soap left here on the drain. Let me just turn the water on high really quickly, rub it out, and then turn it off. And just, like, I'm done. She comes back a couple hours later, not thinking I cleaned my bathroom at all, because she'll find, like, a dust bunny somewhere. And she looks in the sink, and it's apparently a monstrosity to her, because there's a couple pieces of hair and dust in the sink. Like, it's a sink. It'll come out next time I brush my fucking teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's a big clean freak when most people wouldn't even notice those things, so. She's an attention to detail whore.
Well, we've talked about a crap load in this podcast, and I'm getting quite tired, so we should probably end it off here.
Probably.
Because we've been going for a long time, an hour and 40 minutes.
And we were having troubles coming up with stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we trail on our own. All we need to do is get a base to start off of. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in, and if you watch this all the way through, leave down in the comment section, Jug Slap.
Hashtag Jug Slap.
Yeah, Jug Slap.
Ow.
Yeah, I actually did slap him.
So be sure to check out the Smidwinders. We'll try to leave the how it's spelled or the link in the description.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're probably already checking out his channel, and then you're probably already checking out my channel, depending on who you're watching it from. So.
Yep. And so yeah. Thank you for watching.
Tune in next time, survivors.